5:03 is the time this morning. We continue to monitor the war happening right now in Israel against Hamas. Residents and humanitarian groups in Gaza saying it's on the brink of collapse. A live look at the Gaza Strip that we've been monitoring for you throughout the morning shows that there is still a lot to be done here when it comes to humanitarian aid. That's why clean water, food, fuel, and medical supplies sits on the border of Egypt and will not make it into Gaza as long as there is no ceasefire.
Major update that President Biden is now expected to make a trip to Israel tomorrow. He will be showing support while U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken continues meeting with Arab leaders, all stressing the importance of humanitarian aid in Gaza. U.S. and Israeli diplomats set to meet today on a deal to get aid into Gaza. And the number of people dying continues to rise. In Gaza, the fighting has killed more than 2,800 people. In Israel, 1,400 people are dead. Nearly 2,000 U.S. troops are on alert, prepared to deploy. Those orders waiting as they want to support Israel.
A defense official telling NBC News that if they are deployed, the troops would go to a nearby country just to be prepared to support Israel. It's important you know that their mission would include things like medical support and explosive experts, but would not at this point involve troops on the ground in a combat mission. The servicemen were already on a 96-hour prepare to deploy order, and that they're now on a 24-hour notice to get ready to go. The U.S. has vowed that they're going to stand with Israelis as the war continues against Hamas.
However, it also does not want a bigger military conflict as tensions remain high in the Middle East. I talked with the University of Texas professor and former CIA senior officer Paul Pope about the U.S. strategy and potential risk.
The U.S. is sending diplomats and aircraft carriers into the Middle East. What's the message it's hoping to send?
Well, it's a two-sided message. Part of it is diplomatic, and I think Secretary of State has visited 7 capitals, and he's now circling back on others, trying to contain this war. And I think the movement of the aircraft carriers is trying to send the same message to Iran and to reassure Israel that we don't want the war to expand.
If you do see some of these other adversaries, groups potentially get involved, does that change how likely it is for the U.S. to get involved?
I think the Israelis, it could be very ugly if in the northern part of Israel if Hezbollah got involved. They have a lot of rockets, but the Israelis are on full alert right now with their reserves mobilized, and I think they can handle most of the issues that might arise. And I think our job and what we're trying to do is to reassure them, and also I think we're really focused on trying to come up with a humanitarian solution in southern Gaza. And if we can do that, I think that the situation will be less complicated.
Is defusing the situation, a de-escalation, maybe avoiding a ground invasion of the Gaza Strip, is that possible? And what's the best outcome for the U.S. here?
I think avoiding a ground incursion into Gaza is unlikely. I think the Israelis are going to have to go in there. I've been watching Israeli media and Israeli spokesmen from across the political spectrum, and they are committed to removing Hamas from controlling Gaza and eliminating that threat. Your previous question, how do we avoid escalation? The best for the U.S. is to avoid escalation and to do what we can to avert a humanitarian crisis.
University of Texas professor Paul Pope, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.